Sensitive content incoming.
Hey everybody, welcome to episode 12 of the Squatch and Yeti show. I'm Squatch,
I'm Yeti.
and we just kind of wanted to jump on, we got the request to talk about some more serious things today and just kind of want to
Kind of fits with what's been going on anyway, and so we're just gonna, I think, hop on right on into it, I would say, and start talking about this request. What was the request again? Like, what was it? Just mental health, or was it just
mental health, dealing with, we kind of refer to as like the dark thoughts of, self-harm, suicide, and all that. And with that, I would just like to add, and I'm going to start adding this on every podcast episode. For anyone out there,
I would say the serious podcast episodes. I mean, you can do. Yeah,
I think it wouldn't hurt to just like a disclaimer.
Everyone. Everyone's fine.
You never know who needs it at a certain time, but
True that.
If you feel like you can't talk to a loved one or your favorite podcasters or whatever, feel free to text or call the Suicide and Crisis Lifeline. The number is just 988. 988.
Yep.
3 digits, write them down, memorize them, save them to your phone. It may save your life or somebody else's one day.
That is true.
I think we've all at least had those thoughts.
God damn it. Excuse me.
Some of us have been either tried it or even had a plan to try it.
It's not something it's not something easily discussed either. I feel like it's kind of like when you were a kid and you get that lump in your throat and like you physically couldn't speak.
Yeah.
I feel like it's that, but also metaphorically. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no.
Like it really hits hard, and like when it does hit hard, it's like being hit by a fucking sledgehammer right in your chest. So
I know, at least for me, like the one time that I have like for sure been there, had a plan and whatnot, I thankfully everything, worked out against it and I'm still here. I think it was probably a year and a half later before you and me had even talked about it, and
yeah,
I know you're one of the people I can talk to about this kind of stuff. Like, it's just, you don't, especially for me, like if it's something is a bad thing and you wind up not going through with it, you almost, for me, like I felt ashamed that I even considered it.
I was gonna say I felt shameful. So like same as you, I've had plans of my own demise. I obviously didn't follow through with them.
Thankfully.
But I get it, because like I was sitting there one day, and it's one of the reasons why I have issues with firearms and stuff now, is because like I used to own a pistol, and the pistol I had, man, like I remember sitting there, just sitting on my bed, just looking at my pistol. Like, I don't know. And then like I racked around and obviously I didn't do anything, but like I unracked it, cleared the mag, all that shit, made sure it was safe, put the safety on, put the magazine just away from me, took the bullets and everything away, and I was sitting there thinking to myself, like, I need to get some help. And as soon as I started to have those feelings of like, hey, I need to get some help, I immediately felt shameful. I felt just disgraced, because like I obviously understand what it's like to go through some stuff, and it makes you just, it'd be better off if you weren't here. No, that's not true at all. I went to doctors, and I was pretty fortunate enough, actually. I think I've told you this, so I'm kind of just going to retell the story. I went through some medical issues, and it kind of took my life off track. I had it going good. I was doing real well. I can't English. I was doing really well at my job I was working at the time. I was losing weight. I was really good. I was starting to get in really good physical condition, but I was struggling mentally with some stuff. I've been having issues with my mom, my dad, my family in general. I went through a really bad breakup, and to some people, it probably was like, "Oh, you just got heartbroken." No, it was more than that. It was
Everyone handles heartbreak differently.
well, it
man.
was one of those things again where like I thought I had found somebody who actually gave a crap. Turned out they didn't. Shocker there. When the veil got pulled off my eyes, it really like it blinded me, obviously, and it hurt. And so like I was sitting there trying to figure out how to make it go away. And right after all like the breakup and stuff happened, I had my heart issues, and dude, I was in and out of hospitals and stuff. I was on meds that I hated it. Absolutely hated everything I was dealing with. Just a lot of not okay stuff. And there's a lot of depression that runs in my family. Both my mother and father both deal with it. So I naturally got that stuff as well. But I was sitting there, went to a clinic and started talking to a doctor, and I was like, "Hey," I was like, "I'm not okay." And that's all I told her. The doctor looked at me. She's like, "What do you mean you're not okay?" She's like, "All your paperwork came back, your blood work." I was like, "No." I was like, "Doctor." I don't remember the doctor's name. I was like, "Doctor, I'm not okay." And she's like, "Do you have feelings of or thoughts of self-harm or others?" And I was like, "Yes. Absolutely, on to others and myself, especially myself." And she looked at me and kind of got nervous, and I was like, "Please don't do that." She's like, "What do you mean?" I was like, "Don't go call the cops and have them come get me and throw me into a psych ward or something where I can get quotation marks better." I was like, "I obviously know I have an issue. I'm here for you to help me." I was like, "I'm just asking one thing. Please don't put me into a facility where they're going to take everything from me." I was like, "If they do that, I lose my dog, I lose my car, I lose my job, I lose my home." I was like, I can't do that." I was like, "Please don't do that to me."
It's like everything's already bad enough.
Yes.
Don't let me lose the few good things. I have.
Yes. I was like, I'm obviously still clinging on to these things that still need me and I need them. I was like, "Please don't take that away from me." I was like, "If you lock me away for however long," I was like, that's what's going to happen. I know what's going to happen." And so this doctor, let it be known that this doctor, I've only seen them maybe twice. I wasn't a regular patient, wasn't anything to them. Dude, they Sir, you dropped your phone. They put their line they put their line on the line. They put their license, their doctoring on the line for me. They told me if I were to get someone who could watch me for up to 3 weeks, 2 weeks minimum,
Mm-hmm.
then they wouldn't call the cops or anything like that. They would prescribe me some meds. They prescribed me some meds, which I actually still take to this day. They're just a mood stabilizer. It helps you with your issues that you may have. I actually probably need to double up on them tonight because that's what my doctor has told me. One every other day, one every day. If it's bad, let me be clear on the dosage you just said because that's a little confusing. If I'm feeling okay, I can like skip a day and see how I feel, take one the next day just to keep it in my system. However, if I'm feeling like how I have been, because I've been dealing with some stuff here recently, that's why we didn't record last week before last.
Week before
last, we didn't get an episode out, and I apologize for that. That was my doing. I'm dealing with some.
Well, that wasn't just you. Like I was also in the middle of
Yeah,
like
well,
14
this
hour
is
days
where
straight.
like the depression and mental health can be a thing, though, where it's like this is what it does. It makes you feel crippled in the aspect of like you just. I don't know. It's bad. It's just not okay. Hard to explain. Kind of just like a elephant sitting on you. You don't want to do anything. You're just anyway. Doctor is like, "Hey, go spend 2 weeks with your brother She asked me if I had any family members who could watch me for at least a short time frame. I said yes. I got a contract written up with my brother. I am not allowed to have any kind of firearm on my person or in my home because of said issues. Which I've talked to you about this, man. Like you know what this is. I'm just retelling this for everybody to know. I understand what it's like, and I'm currently going through some stuff, and I'm really glad I still have that contract, because just last night, man, like I wasn't having good thoughts. We're kind of being transparent here, so it's going to be a little bit more of a real serious day. But last night, I didn't have thoughts of unaliving myself, but I was just so severely depressed. I just wanted to do nothing, which is exactly what I did. I just laid in my bed and I just felt cold, man. Like I was numb. Like nothing bothered me. Like I didn't care about nothing. I just felt so shitty. And I thought about reaching out to people, but I don't like being a burden. And that's another thing that sucks with your depression or whatever have you. I know for men especially, personal experience here, I wanted to reach out to Squatch over here, but it's like 1 a.m. I didn't want to call and wake you up. Dude, it sucks.
I mean, you know, like you call me 24 hours a day.
Yeah,
as long as I hear the phone, I'll answer. I mean, when I'm asleep, I can't guarantee anything.
No, you're
But,
good. I just,
you know, so
I'm almost done.
Yeah.
Waking up this morning, I realized that I'm still in a funk. Obviously, you probably tell my tone of voice is a little bit different today. I need to get out of it. I got up. I started trying to do some stuff around the house. That's so far the best thing I've noticed for whenever you're feeling depressed or whatever have you, is try to get up and get active. Even if it's just doing something small, making your bed, sleep on the floor, whatever have you, doing something instead of just doing nothing. And honestly, I had this told to me today by a different friend, was it's better to half-ass something than to have done nothing at all. Does that make sense?
You know, so when I started going to the gym and stuff like that, it's what a lot of people would,
excuse me.
You know, I go, how do you do this like 3, 4, 5 days a week, whatever? And this guy, I watched a video, he's a fitness influencer, and he's like, man, a half-assed bad day in the gym is better than no day in the gym.
Right.
And so, you know, like, I know for me especially, mental health stuff, like productivity period, like
it's I know it's the counter to it, but you know what's the almost impossible thing to get going is to be productive. Is to be like to get that motion going is the worst thing ever. It's like you're pushing against a house.
Yeah, well, like, so, you know, a lot of our habits, I know we as humans tend to have whenever we're depressed or whatnot. It's, you know, we lay around and do nothing, kind of wallow in our own self-pity, and, you know, we go eat the shit food,
I've been doing a lot of that.
Alcohol, you know, take drugs, whatever. And I mean, a lot of this doesn't get talked about in a lot in this way, but like that's subconsciously like a form of self-harm.
So
Like
yeah,
we think of self-harm as like, oh, you know, I cut myself because I'm sad.
No, like there's different forms of self-harm. Like, so that I agree 100%, because the things I've been doing for the past like week or so, 2 weeks, I would say, it's just been self-harm. I don't intentionally mean to do it, but it's like my body's own defense mechanism to try to find some kind of relief from the depression. Is like I've been overeating.
Yeah, well, I mean, you know, we feel sad, we go to the comfort food.
Yeah.
you know, another thing like the comfort food is like calling up that sketchy ex or whatever.
Yeah.
You know,
I've been trying really hard not to do that myself. Like I've got a few I could probably call up and yeah.
and that is, I mean, to me, like that's no different than like going and snorting a rail of insert whatever. You know, you're doing something that ain't good for either one of y'all.
Right.
And at the end, it's going to give you momentary relief, and you're going to feel worse whenever she leaves or you leave her place, whatever.
And that's yeah, I mean it all correlates with one another. Like I feel like crap right now because of like just the junk I've been consuming and I've been like I normally don't drink sodas, which you know this. I kind of kicked my soda habit and then like here recently I've been drinking a crap ton of soda and it feels good in the moment, but then afterwards you just feel so much worse. So much worse. And I know it's hard to not go down those paths, but it's very hard when it's a slippery slope and you're already on the edge.
Yeah, see, well, you gave your little, like, I guess, like, testimony.
Testimony.
I'm a religious guy. Like, it's what I associate that with. Of, like, you're a little bit of a past with self-harm. Most of my self-harm and things like that, and
Excuse me.
my younger years, it was substance use. Substance abuse. Like, if it was just occasional use, I wouldn't really associate it with harm. But
Right.
Now, like, as I've talked about plenty of times on here, a few years ago, went through a really detrimental separation. It's a divorce still in progress, but
Right.
separation, and I have not told a lot of people this, so this, I'm just airing out my shit here. But during all that, and I mean, you got a front row seat to that. I think before me and her split up, I hadn't talked to you in like 6 months, and like kind of showed up at your house, like, hey, so everything's broke.
Yeah. I remember, dude. I remember that.
Like I was at your house every day for like 2 weeks, either yours or my other friend Fred's house. Like, because like if you were at work or something like that, I was sitting on his front porch with him. Like, and during all that, like, I had tinkered around with the idea of like, if I could just make all this go away, then I won't got to cry to everybody. I won't have to feel like crap.
You want to not be a burden to people.
And I will say this, like, at that point, I didn't own a firearm, but she had left one at my house.
Yeah.
And there were some like, she had like some prescription pills that were left there, and I had, a plan A and B. And the day I was like, you know what? I was driving home. I said, if they're there, and I always had hell getting into her gun safe. So I was like, if I can access them, fuck it, right?
I'm glad you didn't say it, fuck it.
Well, here's the thing. I went home, and by the grace of God, first thing I did, I opened up the drawer where the meds were. She'd come and got them that day. And I was like, well, walked over. First, I spent 20 minutes because I could not remember the code to that gun safe. I got it open. It was up on the top shelf in my bedroom, and the door is like where all the weight was in it.
Yeah.
So I dropped the whole safe like on my foot. So I was mad, cussing, and I reach in the safe, and there's just the paperwork to the safe. That's it. And I remember I was so mad, and I think that's what kind of helped me start to get over that situation, because I was like, I remember sitting up that night like, And I was in a not very religious space at that point, and I was like, I thought, you know what the hell? I'm gonna say my nightly prayers. Ain't done this in a minute.
Right.
Said my prayers, and I was like, halfway through, I was like, what is wrong with me? I am mad that I can't end it tonight. And then I just sat there and was like, how dare I? And I'm not meaning this in any derogatory way toward women, but I literally said out loud, how dare I let this bitch have this power over me?
Yeah.
And I was lucky enough that broke that in me.
See,
I know not everyone else responds to things like that, but
well, I think that's also a good thing though, is because like you were able to identify like the true issue was she had power over you still, and once you were able to get that, I'm trying to figure out find the words here. I'm stuttering and mashing up things, but it sounds like to me, man, like what was able to happen there was you, for one, you stopped the issue, which is great, but you were able to actually unveil the true issue and then simultaneously able to stop yourself from doing the other thing, which is fantastic. I'm happy that happened. I'm sorry that you had to go through that.
yeah, I mean, I'm not sorry I had to go through with that, because I feel like if I wouldn't have hit that breaking point, I would not have. Because since that day forward, I have weekly, daily, monthly, however you want to break it down, like become a stronger person.
Right.
You know, stronger mentally, emotionally.
So I know this is kind of weird, but I think this is that saying, like, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger.
100%. Like,
I'm pretty sure like these are the things that term I not necessarily like entirely mean, but it's the best description of what that term means, is like what doesn't kill you makes you stronger, meaning what doesn't break you down and completely like just make you snap will obviously make you stronger.
and that's something like I would really like our listeners to kind of really cling on to out of this, is that whatever
Just
is
persevere.
breaking you down right now,
if you can persevere it, just endure the stress, the depression, the pain that you're having to deal with, you will come out on the other side a stronger person.
like,
I think it also goes in line with what we said the other day about the whole like cows running from the storm and the bison or buffalo, whatever we call them, just head first into the storm.
yeah, like sometimes no matter how shitty the situation is, you kind of got to, you know, grit your teeth, tuck your head and plow through it.
Yep.
I guess a good way, other than like, you know, the whole bison deal, much like you're playing football, you have the ball, you're running down the field. I almost said court. Sorry, I'm not a sport person really. But like, you know, you got the ball, you're running down the field. Well, there's, you know, 11 guys on the other team trying to tackle you. Well, you can turn and run the other way or just step off the field, and now say it's fourth down, well, you just, you know, screwed it for everybody, lost the ball. Or you can just tuck that ball in, duck your head down, and just go straight forward, try to fight through those 11 guys, and then you're going to gain ground, hopefully.
There's a joke in here, but I won't say it right now because we're being serious.
But like,
If you're taking, never mind, I'm not going to say it. I want to say it. If you're taking on 11 dudes, I mean, like, you're already doing pretty good. I'm sorry.
hey, but we made it almost 25 minutes without an immature joke.
I'm sorry.
That's a record for us in our personal lives.
It's our coping mechanism for us being depressed. Is we like we were talking a little bit before we started recording. Like I made a joke or whatever, and Squatch River was like, "Yeah, it's just you like deflecting it," and I was like, "Yeah." That's true. That's what's happening right now. Like, I just made a joke to. I'm sorry. I'm not trying to laugh. We're being serious today. I'm just.
I mean, I think once you've gone through, I mean, I can joke about all the dark shit I've been through because
That's how you know when somebody, like, we both have been through stuff. I'm pretty sure our listeners have been through a lot of shit, and they can probably understand this. When you're able to start just laughing at it, or you can joke about it, or just kind of speak lightly about it, however you wish to go about it, that's how you know you have accomplished something great.
yeah, and
I mean, that's just me personally, because, like,
well, I know like some people that go to therapy and stuff are like, oh, you know, your dark sense of humor is a coping mechanism, and you should actually work on the problem, not joke about it.
yeah,
I can argue that I joke about it because it's kind of like been there, done that, wouldn't recommend it, you know?
yeah, that's what I'm getting at, is like, you know what you're able to handle, and so when somebody tries to bring you down with it, and it's just you fucking laugh at them, it's like, nah, man, like, I've already conquered that boss. I farm him now. Like, he's giving me my materials for the next one. Like,
Yeah.
like that's how I perceive it as well. And I also, another thing I try to do is, this may help some people out there who listen to us, is I know video games are a pretty prevalent thing in social media and culture and stuff now here in the US and across the world, really. But turn your life, try to get the outlook of it as a video game.
I was actually
but
fixing to say something like that.
You've said this to me. One of my friends, I guess you can say our friends, he just recently told me the other day on messages, you know who you are because you're listening. Treat it like a game. Like, if you're into video games, or if you're into board games, or
Every
whatever
trauma
have you,
is like a boss.
yes,
You know.
treat it as a fucking boss fight. Okay, this is what's happening. I know that they do this movement, they do that movement. Okay, I got knocked down. Let's get back up. Drink a health potion. Let's keep going. You keep going until the music stops and you're still standing.
Yep, and now you've leveled up.
Yeah,
You know, your XP's gone up, acquired some new skills, whatever.
You got a new weapon. I mean,
yeah, I mean,
you got some new gear to make the next adventure better. So, like, that's how I've been trying to perceive it. And the past couple weeks or so, I've just been kind of sitting at the tavern, so to speak,
yeah.
and not doing my quest. So I need to get back on my quest, is what I'm trying to say. Is, if you treat it like a video game, which I'm trying to, is I need to get out of the gambling casino tavern thing and get back on my quest line and finish my main objective.
Yeah, no, you kind of hit the nail on the head with exactly what I was fixing to say. So, should have known you were gonna jump on the video game thing before me.
Oh yeah, like, we should have known that.
You know, like it just, I don't know, with everything in life, you know, it's like if you're not a gamer person, I know I make a lot of comparisons to like lifting weights.
yeah,
Every day that, you know, it's hard in the gym and you know, work yourself to complete physical exhaustion, you may even be hurting for a few days. But in the end, a few days later, you're bigger, you're stronger, you know, you're more resilient, especially like if you work a job that's physical and you work out, you have to have some sort of resilience mentally and physically.
right.
You know, I can't tell you, and you can testify because I know one of our nurses used to hit the gym quite a bit and stuff. And there'd be like days like we'd get there and like the night before both be texting each other like, oh, yep, it was leg day. And both be at work like walking really slow and doing like a 12 to 14 hour shift on your feet after leg day.
Sucks.
Be walking like Bambi up and down the hall. There was days like I stood up the whole 12 hours because I'm like, if I sit down, I can't get back up.
Yeah.
But pushing through that made me stronger. It's and fun fact, working on your leg health is actually very important for your life. Like for starters, like your legs and like your thigh area, a lot of circulation that needs to go through.
Yeah.
So if you work those, that helps push blood flow through your body. For men, it builds a lot of testosterone, and your legs are. I read something they're like the mortality muscles in the body in a sense of as you get older, what happens? Your legs get weak, or you get weak. You have bad balance, and you start falling and getting hurt.
Yeah.
So if you keep those legs strong and keep your balance up, you have prolonged your life possibly by another 5 years, 10 years.
Well, I think it more or less falls in line with the being active thing. It's kind of hard to be mobile when your tools of mobility have been stripped from you.
True.
So I think that's one of the other reasons why. So at that point, we work in a nursing home, man. Like we see it every day. Every day we work, we got people who like can't really stand up or walk for themselves, and they're just the complete depression epitome, like of the definition of that word.
Yeah,
like just
at our job, we see the people that are bedbound and stuff like that, and they almost, they're like a shell of a person.
Yep.
And that's, because when you don't have that mobility and productivity and getting up and just doing things.
So my question to you, because you're obviously better at it than I, what is something that myself or our viewers can do just to help break that seal, that little barrier, so to speak, where, like I was just saying, how like I'm stuck on the bed. Like I didn't, like, honestly didn't want to get up today. I didn't want to record. What's something that you can like tell yourself, or something you can maybe do to help like get you up, to get you going? Like, because like you know this, a lot of my other friends know this. I don't like exercising. It's not because I can't do it. It's not because I don't. This is weird. I don't like exercising in front of people.
Well, so the thing with exercising in front of people or by yourself or whatever, say it's even like when you're depressed and you're slumped down on the couch, oh bother.
Well, I know everybody's like, you just gotta get up and get going, get up and go do something.
So like,
how do you get the energy to get up? Like, how do you?
What you do is, because when you're feeling depressed, you don't, like life is sucked out of you. You don't have that energy. What helps me, at least, and I've heard a lot of people say this helps them, that's why I started doing it, is I go, well, you know what? I'm going to go for a walk today. I'm going to go up to the park or wherever you want to go walk. And I'm going to walk 2 laps. And if I just still feel really lethargic and tired, I'll go home and go lay around the couch again. At least I tried, right?
Right.
But once you get moving, you're going to walk a couple laps and go, man, I don't want to go home and go just walk 2 laps and went home, sat on my ass. In the gym, like, I'll be like, you know what? I'll go for, before I started working out at home, I'd be like, well, I'll go work out for like 20, 30 minutes. There would be days that, maybe I just did that 20, 30 minute workout. But at the end of the day, at least I went and did that some form of a workout. Like I said, better to have a bad day in the gym than a bad day not going at all.
Right, the whole half-assing thing.
Yeah. But typically what I do is get in there and, go, all right, well, I'm just going to do a few sets, and maybe do, a couple sets on like my shoulders or whatever, curls, and then like happen to just kind of sit there for a minute. And, you go to a public gym, they got mirrors everywhere, like that weird guy's bedroom. But like you sit there and like you take a rest and you're like, man, like hey, like my forearm, my bicep got like a little bit of a pump. And the kind of, it's like the whole walk in 2 laps, and it kind of gives you a little surge of energy.
Yeah.
And then before you know it, you're pushing through a full workout or, full, couple miles of walking or whatever. And then when you're done, you're like, you feel better. And you're going to get home and.
So it kind of reminds me, like what you're saying, it reminds me of what I threw a little house party a while back. And one of the guys that came over and everything, we're having fun, drinking, whatever have you. He's been going through some stuff, and he asked me. He was like, "Hey, man," he's like, "How do you do it?" He's like, "I know that you've been dealing with a lot of shit." He's like, "I know you had that really bad breakup." He's like, "I know that you've experienced stuff in the past." He's like, "How do you just?" He's like, "How the fuck do you keep going?" He's like, "How do you do it?" He's like, He's like, just the other day, he's like, "Dude, I didn't." I was like, "I understand, man." I was like, "The best thing you can do is, for one, don't do that." I was like, "Then for two, you have to just persevere and keep going through, man." I was like, and I know I'm saying this a lot lately, but like I told him the Buffalo thing, and he was like, "What the fuck?" He's like, what?" I was like, "Dude, yeah." I was like, "Dude, if you just keep persevering, keep enduring it, and eventually you will get through that storm. Does it fucking suck? Oh, hell yes. Keep eating the shit sandwich. As you're eating the shit sandwich, get up and walk. Like what you're saying, get up and go for a walk. And before you know it, you're going to be doing more. You get through that mile walk. Next day, you want to do it again. You're going to go, like, maybe not necessarily the 4 laps around the track to do the full mile, but you'll probably go an extra lap or 2 extra.
Yeah.
And like what you're saying with your whole workout thing, like before you know it, you're gone through the entire set. You're feeling good. The same thing when you go for your walk. Like I was telling him that too, and he was like, "Dude," I was like, "He's like, I just don't understand." I was like, "It's not something easily understood until after you've already started. Like you have to get started, and then this is another tricky part is having the discipline to continue forward. And if you have to get that discipline or that outside help to keep you motivated, to keep you going on it, I think that also helps as well." Which is where, like, I was about to ask you, get people to help you, like your close friend, your brother, your sister, whoever have you, somebody close to you, friend, whatever have you. She's like, "Hey, man, like, come on, get the fuck up, let's go."
Like, hey, bro, let's go for a walk.
Yeah.
Let's go hit the weights. And now, like, for those of you that do consider going to the gym, what actually helped me for a while and kind of because on my days off especially, I'd be like, well, I didn't work a 12-hour day. I don't want to go lift weights this morning.
Yeah.
But then I was like, well, what better time to do it now, right? And I actually made a friend at the gym. He'd gone and through that, that's when I started being open and talking about my stuff, because he was like, "So why are you here?" I'm like, "Oh, I'm trying to lose weight, get strong." He's like, "Why are you really here?"
Yeah.
And I was like, "Well, I've been through some things. I'm trying to change." And he said, "Me too." Fun fact, I actually worked out with this guy for 2 or 3 weeks, and come to find out, like his ex-wife and oldest daughter were 2 of my former coworkers from another job. Really cool dude. And so then I got to looking forward to like getting up first thing in the morning on my days off if I didn't have kids or anything. And I knew he got to the gym about 8 or 9 o'clock. So on my day off, like 8:30, 9 o'clock, I'd roll up to the gym and like I'd work out for 2 or 3 hours just to hang out and BS with the guy. Like,
Right.
and anything that can make you like want to get up and go to the gym, like befriend that guy. I mean, for one, he was a little bit older than me. So, and he was actively dealing with a divorce and all that too. very somewhat similar circumstances,
Right.
and so he would like ask me, he's like, I didn't go through this at your age, so what's your perspective on this? And I'd be like, well, you're older than me, so what's your perspective on my situation?
Yeah.
And, anything like, for one, that helped me in more than just working out. But, helped
Definitely.
me mentally
I
as
was gonna say
well.
it helped you with your mental issues that you were dealing with at the time.
Yeah, I mean, it felt really good to like meet this stranger that
I was
could
gonna
totally
say-
relate.
I was gonna say it always is nice to see that you're not in the boat alone. You're not the only one without a paddle and get your hand in the water trying to fucking go. There's other people doing it too.
Yeah, which is why
So-
we talk about this stuff sometimes. Is like,
Yeah.
if one person hears this and is like, okay, hey, I'm not alone.
Yeah, you're not alone. Like, you're never alone. Like, there are however million trillion people on this planet. Somebody, multiple people can relate and can help you through what's going on. And that was something I'm going to lead into this as well, is that another good thing, because like you're talking about like getting up and doing stuff, is create a routine.
Definitely.
Like, try to, even if it's something small, like, and I've been doing this to help me get back out of my funk. Is it's currently not done because I woke up extremely late today, but just make your bed every day.
So there's actually one of the things a lot of people talk about to kind of help improve like your mental well-being is you want to feel like you're accomplishing things.
Yes.
And they talk about journaling and all that. And
Yep.
I've talked to you a lot about that in private.
I feel weird about the whole journaling thing.
Well,
That's just me personally.
But even if you're not journaling your thoughts and feelings, like your little diary, you take your journal and notebook every day. And I actually heard Matthew McConaughey actually said he does this every night. And he makes like a list for like at least the first half of the next day or whatever.
Yeah.
And he's like, you got to break that list down to get up in the morning, make my bed, drink a cup of coffee. It's Friday. I'm going to wear my favorite t-shirt today.
Yeah.
Little things like that. And it's stupid. Like
you have no idea how impactful that is, though.
But then what you do is you, throughout your day, you're like, well, check that off. And even if it's just 10 stupid little things like, hey, I wore my favorite pair of Converses today.
Yep.
You create a sense of productivity. And then you're like, well, heck, I can do more. And then like,
I don't mean this in a weird way, but it's like more like a kind of like a parasite to a degree. Once you start getting that routine set in motion, and by set in motion, I mean like you've done it a couple days, couple weeks, and it's progressively staying the same, it will then grow and become more and more. You'll start out waking out, like just wake up at a more reasonable time. If you work nights, wake up at an earlier time in the day. Like, I don't know how to.
If you work nights, it is imperative, I think, that you wake up earlier and get outside, especially. Yes. Vitamin D is just does so much, because when I work nights, I had to live on a vitamin D supplement.
I would say, or on your days off, try to get out and experience some daytime stuff, because I used to work nights as well, and Squatch has seen, like, I went through a really bad breakup while I was working nights, and it was not fun, but I got through it, and I'm at where I'm at now. And what I was getting at with this is waking up, even working days, working nights, however, waking up earlier, which I think you've told me this, is that it helps create that little sense of accomplishment, because now you have the whole day ahead of you to do whatever you wish and or need to do.
Yeah. It's like, so I think the issue with, where we get very self-critical and feel down on ourselves, and maybe it doesn't cause it, but it definitely doesn't help, like with the feeling productive and all that. I know I myself before. I mean, here lately, I've been pulling like extra long shifts, covering at work and stuff during the week, so I haven't been as good about this. But for a while, I got to where I was getting up at like 4:30 in the morning and doing at least some kind of a workout,
Yeah.
even if it was just 30 minutes of some lateral raises, curls, and like squats or whatever, just something quick. But then I'd do that, take my shower, drink my morning coffee, make my bed, all that, and then I've already knocked out like 4 things on my to-do list.
Quick question. Do you take a shower in the morning or in the evening? Or both?
Sometimes both. So I like to have one before I go to bed because it helps me relax.
Yeah, that's... I was just... Sorry to get off topic. I was just like, that's... Taking a shower before work?
Well, so like a lot of times, like if I do like exercise or whatever in the mornings,
Yeah, I mean, that makes sense, but...
At the very least, I'll jump in a cold shower real quick.
Yeah. Wakes you up.
Like another cold plunges, cold showers.
Those help out tremendously.
Like physically, mentally.
I don't think people understand how that affects you. Like I've been taking cooler showers too. You're really not supposed to be taking scalding hot showers every damn day. Like
it's not good for your skin for one.
Yeah. But it's also not me personally, I don't know. I feel like hot showers they feel great during the winter and such. But like during the summer, take cold showers, man.
They each serve a purpose.
Yes, I'm not saying they don't, but like I feel like if you're dealing with some stuff, taking a cold shower can kind of help like wake you up. Does that make sense?
Well, so one thing what cold showers do for me and a lot of people I've heard talk about it is when you do it, like you can't, that's the problem is like if we're going to exercise or playing a video game or reading or whatever, like I can't tell you how many times I've caught myself like at night I like do a little scripture reading and I'll be like trying to read my Bible and I'm like thinking of whatever BS is going on in my head. And then so it's kind of like when they make you read a book at school and you're just kind of going through the motions. Johnny said, "Oh no, look at me." And by the time you're done reading it, you done forgot what you read because you're focused on other things.
Yeah.
Well, that cold shower, when you're standing under freezing cold water pouring on you or sitting in a tub of cold water, you can't think about anything but that.
Right.
Like you're just like, especially like if you're trying to stay in it, you're just like, be still, be still, be still. It's not cold. It's not cold. It's not cold.
Tell yourself to breathe. 'Cause that's a big thing too. Is your body goes into a shock. It's the fight or flight senses that really kick in, and you're like, either you're wanting to change the water to hot or you're wanting to get the hell out.
Mm-hmm.
Force yourself to stay in the cold. Get control of yourself is what it's also really good to help you do. And that's what I was getting at was like people I've talked to is what I just said. It helps you get a control over yourself. Take cold showers, force yourself to stay in the cold water. Don't mess with the temperature of the water. Don't get out. Focus. Tell yourself to breathe. You're going to get through it. That's what it helps create.
And to be honest, like, not even just mentally, because I know sometimes as dudes we can be, a little vain, and it's great for your skin. And like for one, I read something like a lot of women actually do like ice water treatments on their face to like help with aging signs and all that.
Yeah.
But so here recently, if you go on social media, there's a lot of trending like where older guys have gotten really into like lifting weights again and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And they get, especially if they're retired, so they have nothing to do but like go head first into it. And like I've seen a ton of like these women that post stuff with their husbands on TikTok, and the husband very obviously is like a jacked older dude, and you'll look at the guy and like you can tell like if he does like has like the cold plunge tub outside or whatever.
Yeah.
Other than the fact he's gray headed, the dude looks like maybe a 30-year-old.
I would say maybe 40, but yeah.
I mean, it just like health does wonders for you though. Like the dude that plays in the Ip Man movies,
Donnie Yen.
he's like 67 years old.
I know.
And the dude, I wished I looked as young as him at 21.
You know he's in Blade, right?
Is he?
He's in Blade 2. He's one of the vampires. He's like a hunter of like the weird little split jaw vampires. Yeah.
Okay, now I got to rewatch Blade.
Blade 2. He's the vampire guy with the sword on his back, like Blade. I really wanted to see him and Blade fight, but that didn't happen. So
yeah. But like I've seen videos where like he talks a lot about the importance of like training and doing various things to help with your mental and physical health.
Well, it's been proven, which is just the dawn of time. Humans are not meant to be stagnant.
No, like we're made to be on the go doing things. Like
we're supposed to be doing stuff. So when we're not doing stuff, it makes it worse, and it's just a vicious little circle that you have to try to break. And however way you can go about doing it, good on you.
Hit the gym, get a hobby.
Yep. Change your hobby. Get another hobby.
I mean, you've seen me. I've played music my whole life, and
yeah,
it seems like I do everything but play music now. Like I still.
I was gonna say, when was the last time you sat down and like played some music? And I don't know. I remember the other day you were talking about recording or writing out your album you were trying to figure out, right? Weren't you?
Yeah, I'm still kind of working on at least a couple songs for the EP. I just between work and things, I've just been blowing and going. But
well, if I can accomplish my GED, get your album done, boy.
Working on it. Trying to get the first single.
Is that how I sound it? You get your GED yet? Working on it.
No, I'm in the process of getting the first single finished. I know whenever I can get that out, that'll be like a tremendous load off.
Right.
And that'll either A, make me be like, okay, I can check this box off, or it's going to be the gym effect. I'm like, well, if I can do a 4-song EP, I bet next year I can do 10.
Yeah, there you
go. My hardest thing is since I've started writing music, 10, 12 years ago, I have a lot of songs that I've wrote that I'm like, I feel like they really need to be out there. I don't know if me doing them or maybe me selling them to an artist. I don't know. But then, like, because I've grown as a person, there's newer stuff I want to try. And so it's probably one of the things I need to just get all the old stuff out of my system.
Yeah.
And like there's a song, okay, one of the songs I wrote years ago, and it talks about dealing with some dark stuff and all that. It was wrote about a conversation me and you had as we were probably in our early 20s.
Wait a minute.
We were both kind of going through some dark stuff, and you were talking about a breakup situation. And I mean, I didn't like write the situation, but just talking about that, like, kind of.
Was it my situation I had?
How
long ago was it? Because
you, I think, had maybe just moved back to Kerrville, or maybe we're still living in Brownwood.
I think I was probably living in Brownwood.
But
because when I lived there, like I had that really bad breakup, and
yeah,
you witnessed me almost get alcohol poisoning.
Yeah, I did not contribute to that at all.
No, not at all. You weren't contributing at all with the shots.
To be fair, I did not provide you the bottle. I just poured the shots.
Yeah, after that fourth shot, I kind of don't remember what happened.
You finished a bottle. Fun fact, kids, drinking a whole bottle of Jägermeister is bad for you.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, I can.
but I wrote this song, and I think I wrote the song because this particular song, the chorus of it, it's talking about like a breakup, and it ends with, "But that's okay, the sun will rise tomorrow."
Yeah.
And I think whatever point I was trying to make in the conversation to you was that, like, hey, kind of like we've been talking about, like, it sucks now, but it's going to get better.
Right. And I know that's a cliche thing that everybody tells everyone. Like it'll get better though. It doesn't seem like it'll get better. Like I think it's like this overwhelming, like depression is one of those things, man, like it is a hell of a monster.
Oh, for sure. Like we think of depression as this, like, cause how we feel when we're depressed, like puny and down. Like, nah, depression's not this little guy. Oh, you're sad. Depression's like this big old ogre that's like holding you down.
That's like he's got you pinned to the ground.
And you're sometimes fighting for your life to get away. Like, and I don't know. I know this is going to sound really cliche, and I know you and me have talked about this in private. Like, one of the things, I mean, I've all the exercise and breathing exercises, getting out, talking to people, or sitting in silence, journaling, all these various things to help. I mean, the big one for me, and that I've tried to, I know I've talked to you about this, is like finding something to believe in.
Yeah.
I just,
but ironically enough, is on my arm.
Yeah.
Like,
well, I know a lot of people that.
It's kind of weird though that that's the thing we choose to say, because like that's why I have this thing on my arm, is to help me like continue to believe and keep going and whatever have you.
Well, like I know, I mean,
so hard.
I've, like we were talking about before, like, I mean, you've seen me go from non-religious really to like full on like youth pastor type to stepping away from religion in general, and now back where I'm at. And through all of that, I've met people from various walks of life of different religions or theologies, to
so that's another
agnostic, atheist people.
So that is another thing I will say as well, is if you are experiencing something that you feel like is out of your control and you need some help, religion can help you as well.
Well, I mean, like,
religion.
If you believe, I mean,
when I say the right religion, I mean like the right religion for you, like not necessarily like, oh, I'm feeling depressed, I'm gonna go learn and be a Buddhist. Well,
yeah. I mean,
maybe.
So the lifestyles with certain theologies and religions can be helpful. I mean, Buddhists, for example, are very much on enlightenment, personal peace. I actually, although I'm diehard Christian, one of the books I occasionally just thumb through when I'm just looking for some inspiration kind of outside of my own faith is the Have 'Em All, which is a lot of the Norse teachings.
Really?
In which, despite what people think, it's not like, it doesn't say things like, he who wants to go to Valhalla must rape and pillage. Nothing like that. Like, it gives a lot of lessons on like how and there's actually a fitness company I follow. They're called Norse Fitness because they're tied to like a lot of like Norwegian heritage and stuff like that, and they kind of do the whole Viking thing as a image. But they have a shirt that I love and I've been wanting to get. I just haven't got around to buying it. It says, "There's no lamb for the lazy wolf."
Yeah.
And that's like a very like Viking thing. Like, you know, like Vikings were, I mean, they conquered, they went out. So if you were a lazy Viking, you didn't get anything.
Yeah.
And so I learned quite a bit like reading that. Still, I mean, ultimately, like, I go to my Bible. And I think less people, when you're going through shit, you don't need to find religion as much as you need to find God. And I think if you truly find God, you're not going to get so caught up in the whole religion, this and all this. Like,
Right. I wouldn't. So I'm gonna go ahead and say this now because I am off the beaten path. Other than yourself, I feel like it wouldn't be God necessarily for everyone, but I feel like it would be faith.
I mean, everybody finds their own way. I mean, I don't know. This week we could get like a whole nother
Topic on
Yeah.
yes.
But what I know for me,
And that's where you and I, this is why we started this podcast, because we want to help people. We want to talk
Yeah.
about stuff. And because you and I are of opposite beliefs.
yeah,
When I want to say it was not the opposite, I would say of different beliefs.
Yeah.
Not opposite. Are there opposite beliefs?
I mean,
Well, it's kind of off topic, but that kind of makes
really
me question.
not really opposite, because I mean, like you're agnostic, so like, you believe something's out there.
Yeah.
The more like opposite of me would be like atheist. There ain't nothing out there. It's just
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
But
You just die.
you just somehow we got here and then we die. But I know for me, I know religious and non-religious people that go through a lot of the same stuff, and it just, in my experience, a lot of people who maybe they're not religious but they have a close relationship with God,
Yeah.
they tend to find their way to get through it a little bit easier. Now, it
See,
might be different for everybody.
That's why I was mentioning it, was because like I know of a few people, with you being one of them. Like you've gone through the ringer, you've been really low, and then like you find your faith again or whatever have you, come back around into it, and you're a little bit more better off than when you were even prior to your previous, I guess, beliefs. And
Well, so at this point in my life, I've kind of, for me, I've accepted that, I mean, through God and the Word of God, that's where I'm going to find my answers I need.
right.
And I mean, we could, like, I'm trying not to go down the religion rabbit hole too
I know.
much.
I get what you're saying. I think that's the beauty of all of this: depression, mental health, religion, whatever have you. Is that's a part of life.
For sure.
And one of the reasons why, like, we're having this talk is because you and I are both going through some stuff right now. Not together. I mean, we could.
Yeah.
You want to go through things together, man? But it's one of those things, man. Like, you just hearing a voice, even on your phone, your radio, whatever, wherever you're listening to this at. I'm hoping
loudspeaker at Walmart. Okay,
that would be amazing. I'm hoping that this helps you in some form or fashion, knowing that, like we said earlier, you're not alone. Like, it's abundantly clear that you're not alone.
Yeah, I mean, that's why. And I, like, when I gave my little, like, you know,
And I know things are always beating people down, and there's always that depression demon on top of people, like holding them down, like we were just saying. But like, you are stronger than you're giving yourself credit for. And I had to hear that myself from people, like, you're better than this. Like what you said earlier with the whole, like, again, not trying to be derogatory to women or anything, but like, why does this bitch have so much power over me? Say that with the fucking depression thing, man. Like,
yeah, I mean,
like, why are you letting this thing have so much fucking power over you? Like,
Yeah.
you know you're stronger than that. So,
Well, like, I mean, so, and what I would encourage anyone, if you're feeling depressed or whatever, ask yourself these questions right here. Have I got up and done anything today? Have I been outside and got some sunlight? And if you don't, if you work nights, so just getting outside is sometimes impossible. Go on Amazon. They have these little fake UV light little lamps. Put that on your bedside table, and if anything, just sit there with that in the evening before you go to work. Because I know some people like work like a 10 to 6 shift or whatever, and so it's
Yeah.
hard to get sunlight when you got to be at work at 10 o'clock at night.
we'll get up earlier, I would say. Like, I would.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just saying, if you don't feel that's a viable option, make sure you're getting some of that sunlight, and definitely on your days off.
Right.
But have you gotten sunlight today? Have you got up and moved? Have you drank your water? Water is
gonna
literally
say-
the key to life.
I was going to say, water
and
is
oxygen.
life. Like, you need to drink water.
Go outside, go for a walk in the sunlight, and chug a jug of water while you're out there.
Yep.
I will almost guarantee you will come back feeling a million times better.
Yep. Also, eating things that aren't processed. Processed food, I know, is like a massive issue in the world, especially
Processed
here in the U.S.
Food, and I've read some stuff and listened to like a lot of like fitness influencers that like try to encourage people, especially when you're feeling depressed.
Yep.
No carbs, no sugars.
Just stay away from sweets. Stay away from breads and
Yep.
carbs of any form or fashion. I know people out there like me. Like, I love my potato. Potatoes are amazing.
But a potato is like I mean, it's still carbs, and ultimately, if you're feeling depressed, especially because we all know what depression can turn into,
Yep.
go extreme. Don't have any of that shit for 24 hours.
I would say longer if you can.
Well, I mean, the longer you can go without it, the better.
Yep. Stay away from sodas, man. Like, I'm learning that myself as we speak. I've got a singular can of Dr. Pepper sitting in my fridge. I really want to drink it right now because I want something sweet. I want something carbonated. I want something to give me
Had a
some
bottle of
comfort.
Coke in my fridge for like a week now.
Yeah.
Looking at it like, nah.
It's just there. Like, and that's something too to help control things. Like, if you're having issues with soda consumption while you're depressed and you're trying to get undepressed, you try and kick that soda, maybe not throw away the whole 12 pack. Keep a can or two, but don't finish the can.
For me, what like when I deal with like soda consumption and all that, a lot of times, which I typically, I mean, my current drink of choice is usually Sprite Zero, so it's basically sparkling water.
Right.
No caffeine, no sugar, nothing. But like if I do have some Coke Zeros or get like Dr. Pepper or whatever, my thing is, because I don't usually, okay, I keep ice in my house, but I also have 2 kids that like to empty the ice trays and not fill them back up.
We would get our asses beat if we did that when we were
Yeah.
younger. Start beating their asses. Do it.
Listen, my problem, I've been teaching them how to box and stuff, so they know how to fight back now. Like I told you the day that my daughter like damn near broke my wrist. But I can't be mad about that because proud dad moment when your 12-year-old daughter throws a hell of a right cross and it hurts you. It's like, I'm proud of you. I'm proud of you.
Trying really hard not to hit you right now.
Well, she caught my good hand, so I had to get her with my left hand if I did. So, but don't punch your kids, please. Don't punch your kids.
No, it's not. It's like, have you seen the little shorts of like the dad's like,
And he's like, keep your hand up. Yeah.
well, he's like the kid hits him pretty good, and
Yeah.
he goes to like retaliate, like a defensive thing. And he's like, nope. Ooh.
But like when they're at the house, I'll get like a Dr. Pepper 12-pack or something for them. And what I typically do, because we don't have ice, I'm like, y'all put y'all a soda or two in the fridge.
Yep.
And then so like when they're not there, or if I want one, I gotta be like, well, if I want one, I've got to put it in the fridge or freezer for a little bit and let it get cold. Or I got to go the trouble of getting a bag of ice or something like that. And then
Or be a psychopath and drink it hot.
no.
I don't.
No.
People who do that are fucking weird.
I've done that when I had an upset stomach because it helps like relieve the gas in your stomach.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
Hot soda or root beer if you're having like stomach cramps.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Helps get rid of the pressure from like the gases and stuff.
But
Because it like makes you want to belch and whatnot.
yeah.
Interesting.
But like, so I keep them like in the cabinet, and then I'm like, I don't want to, I got a jug of water in here. I'm just gonna drink that.
Right.
Just find a way to like you don't have to. That way, it's there if you just really feel like you want it, but you got to work for it.
Right.
And then if you do, like, well, I want this Coke. Well, I'm gonna put it in the fridge. And I'm gonna go walk or go lift for a little bit. Well, by the time you're done with your workout, that Coke or whatever that's cold now. And, you hydrate real quick after you work out, and then then you've kind of earned that little sweet treat.
Right.
But just really, if you're feeling down, just kick that shit.
Let's say you just try to get into a routine, try to reach out to someone and help them or have them help you get up and get active. Like it's not impossible to overcome. Challenging, yes, but it is doable.
And I mean, for one, I know myself, my weight makes me feel like crap. Like,
I was going to say, I'm sitting here hungry. I haven't ate all day. I know I need to eat something, and I'm trying to figure out what I can eat. But it's not going to make me feel like complete shit after I eat it.
mm-hmm.
So, and again, that's another thing, too, is like when you're depressed, you don't eat a whole lot or you eat too much. Like try to rear in. Not rear in. Try to rear it in. Jesus Christ. Try to rein in either way. Like try to rein it in and get something proper into your body. And I think, Jesus. Dude, the semis have been so bad lately.
Dude, for real.
Like the other day I had 2 semis back to back. Jake breaks. I'm like, you need to fucking not. Dude. Anyway. I don't know about you, but I think this is a good time to segregation to the end. You're never gonna let me live that down, so I'm just gonna accept it.
Just own it. Like
I just did. We're segregating. Stupid. Oh my lord.
But no, this is and for anyone that listens to us that wants the whole, goofy 12-year-old boy comedy, like,
we have that.
Sorry, this one's been a little more serious, but
no, not true. 30 minutes into this one, there was a joke.
We let a few jokes slide. We it wouldn't be us if we weren't doing a little bit of giggling.
True.
But like, we, for one, I got asked about doing this from a friend, and we're dealing with our stuff, and we want to use our situations to try to help others.
Yep.
I really hope everyone who listens got something out of this.
I'm pretty sure they did. If you didn't, then fuck you. I'm just joking. I'm joking. You're good.
If you didn't get something from this, if you have any questions, if you know us personally, reach out to us.
If you know us personally, reach out to us.
Or reach out to the show's page. I mean,
I say reach out to the shows. Leave some comments. Leave whatever you can. Reach out via however means. If you know someone who listens and they've been talking to you about it, or you know someone who probably should listen or wants to talk about it, have them reach out to us. Like, reach out in general, like in all forms of fashion. Like, there are ways, again, that, what was that number again? 988?
Yes, 988.
Reach out to that hotline. If something is so severe, you feel like it's just out of your control, you're really on the brink, call that number 988. It is a crisis line. They will help you. They will steer you in the right direction. They can sit there and talk to you. They're
Like they have people that are specifically
they
trained for
are
that.
specifically trained to understand, to know, to how to help you, the help guide you. They will help get you where you need to be,
Yeah, just
which is not the ground. Stay out of the ground.
yes, stay on this side of the dirt. You
Yep.
know, reach out to them. Reach out, and I've said this before. If a listener has something they feel like they need to talk to, by all means, message the show like on Facebook or something like that. And if you just really want to have like a talk with us, you know,
We can
me and Yeti can get together and do a
a
phone
personal
call with
let's say
you,
do
video call with
do a
you,
personal call with you or something.
exchange messages back and forth. Like,
I know that sometimes the quotation marks professional help can be intimidating and maybe a bit of a deterrent because you feel like you don't need professional, but you still want to talk about it. That's what we're here for.
You feel like, that guy is just, he don't know what I'm going through. Like, he's just some guy with a pad and paper that assesses me for whatever reason.
For just money, yeah.
Or,
No,
we don't get no money out of this.
That's my thing as to why I don't like going to therapy is why then there might be some people out there who have the same thought process as me is why in the hell would I go pay someone who probably doesn't give a fuck about me at all to hear me talk, write some stuff down. All right, here's some pills. I would much rather go to my friends and family, be like, hey, I've got this going on. Even if it's just one friend, one family member, whoever, do it. If you're more comfortable with that, do it. If you're more comfortable with a stranger, like squatching myself, then by all means, reach out to us, man. Like we're here.
Yeah, I mean, we've been through the ringer mentally and emotionally in life, just as probably most of the people in your life already have.
I do request that you say, hey, I heard from you guys on your podcast. I could talk to you. And that's how we'll know that you need something.
Yeah. Just don't be afraid to reach out, Like I said, we will find a way to one of us or both of us talk to you. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
We guess we do this to give people laughs and all that and entertain ourselves. We also we want to help people. We've spent the last few years going through our share of bullshit, and we talked about it extensively over the last year. Hey, I really want to do this podcast or a podcast because I want to help people.
Yep.
It was a podcast for me that literally helped me start getting my shit in order. And that's why I occasionally name drop certain podcasts and stuff like that, because I'm like, maybe one of y'all will go listen to them and get something out of it like I did.
Right.
And we just,
outside perspectives always help, I feel like.
Yeah. And ultimately, we may not even know some of you that listen, but we have nothing but love for each and every listener. Anyone that takes the time to listen to us,
the win in our book.
Yeah, every listen, every like, every share, it
helps.
It helps. It makes us feel good for one.
Yeah.
But I love checking the analytics and seeing new countries or new states where we have listeners, and it's really awesome. And I don't know, especially for these episodes where we can help people, that makes me feel good. Like we're casting a really wide net, and
we'll catch something.
Maybe there's some guy listening, and we have a pretty regular listener or a couple listeners in Belgium, and maybe
I wonder how we sound in that language. I mean, are we still sounding as incompetent as I usually sound, or do I sound
probably? But you know, if listeners overseas or in,
The podcast XQC. I'm sorry. Yeah, no way, dude. We're doing a podcast, dude. I'm sorry.
but you know, like if to help like a random stranger in another country, if they got something out of this episode, hell yes. Like
Yeah, people across the big lake, we're here, man. We're here for you.
yeah, we now setting up a call with y'all. Like we might have to stick to messaging.
But you have to
because
stick to messaging, I would think, on that one.
unless y'all have some kind of like
I'm a
English.
night owl. I'm a night owl, but like, yeah, they need to make it to where I don't know why. This is real quick before we end. Is why haven't they made technology? Well, maybe they have, and I'm just. Is it in our phones where like we could message someone like in Japan, right? When my message comes through to their computer, their phone, their whatever, is it automatically translated into Japanese and then vice versa?
I
When-
mean,
Whenever they send me a message in kanji, as it's traversing the webs and the mystical power of technology, is it converted into English for me to understand?
well, like I guess it would have to be because like
That's a good question, right?
yeah, I mean any of our
I don't. I mean, I
tech
don't.
lovers that understand that stuff way better. Like
Yeah, let me know because like I mean,
I'm
to be
curious
fair, I don't have friends in Japan, but like I'm interested
love
now.
to get some listeners over there that would be like, hey, you guys should come do a live show over here.
I'd be down.
An
I'd be-
excuse to go to Japan? Hell yeah.
Any excuse to go anywhere out of the U.S., I'd be okay
Like,
with.
It'd be really awesome to like set up an interview somewhere in like Japan or like Ireland or something
Yeah.
like that.
I would love to get out and talk to people of different culture and see where we could probably meet in the middle or where we are relatively alike, but in different parts of the world.
Yeah, like
But on that note, I think that would be a good time to end this. What do you think?
yeah, for sure. You know, y'all hit us up on the Facebook, Instagram. We should be uploading content to YouTube very soon. This episode might actually get put on YouTube.
Really?
I
Interesting.
just went ahead and signed on with the set up the distributor connected to our YouTube account. So,
Thought you weren't going to do that.
well, it's through our actual YouTube,
Oh,
not
okay.
like the distributor doing it.
Gotcha.
Sorry, I had to bore y'all with our, tech business talk there. But anyways, we're gonna have content on YouTube soon at the Squatch and Yeti Show, Spotify, and Amazon Music.
Mm-hmm.
All your other little podcasting sites, I believe, we're on there as well. On that note,
Friend of a friend, spread it around. We're here to help. We're here to make you laugh. Here to make you probably cringe. I hate saying that word. You might get angry. You might get, however, but that's what we're here for.
we will catch y'all on episode 13 in a week. Wow, 12 episodes already.
12.
Anyways, thank all y'all for listening. This has been great, and I hope you got something out of it.
Bye.